Hello. I forgot to mention on my 2003 recap, one of the most important things to happen to me personally, I graduated from MATC um, with a GPA of 3.18. I found the travel program. I loved it. Putting the different things together, airfare, hotel, um, places to go, things to see, etc. The customer service aspect, I mean, really spoke to me. And I mean, saying something is when I left high school. I didn't graduate high school, but I left high school with a GPA of a 1.6. And before I got in the travel program, I had a GPA of like a 1.9 or 2.0. And it felt so good to accomplish something. And it was a very, very good feeling. 2004, I got my first job in the travel field. That wasn't just a internship for class. I worked at the AAA. I put triptychs together. I greeted people. It was just a 6 month thing, but it couldn't. They didn't have a position, so I couldn't stay on. But I loved it. I loved the people I worked with, and it was good. 2004 was also an election year. I wasn't very involved in the campaign, in any of the campaigns like I was in previous. I was disillusioned on politics, and I voted for Kerry. I held my nose and I voted for Kerry. I did not like the fact that it was choosing between the lesser of two evils. And I held my nose and I voted. It was more a vote against Bush than a vote for Kerry. 2004, 2005 was also trying to get a job. Like I had this internship, which I got through disability and through job placement office. And spring of 2005, I took a trip with my dad to New Orleans, and it was just him and me, and we had a fun time. My dad and I haven't always had the best relationship, and I mean, I kind of had a panic attack during there and got into problems. But then I realized why I was so worried and why I was so anxious, and I didn't eat all of this one day, and I was just so anxious. I was feeling sick to my stomach, etc. But I just we acknowledged each other. We learned from each other on that trip, and one of the best parts of that trip was that evening getting a muffaletta. My dad getting a cigar. Being on the intersection, I don't remember the street. There was a statue of a priest with a book, and watching the cars go by and just talking. I mean, that was one of my best memories of that trip. Another memory of that trip, which I'm not so proud of, was the second night I was there, and I got drunk for the last time I actually got drunk. I don't like to drink because I don't like to lose control, and my dad went out drinking the previous night, and so I went out myself, and I got drunk. I went to a couple strip clubs, which I'm not very proud of. I mean, throughout the 2000s, everybody has a signature sin that I believe that the devil can get to them. Some it's pride, some it's greed, some it's anger, some it's sloth, some it's lust, and mine was lust. And I just, and I mean, saying strip clubs is very hollow. And I mean, the girl was cute, and like frisky, very fun, but there was something hollow about it. And then another strip club where the women, it was ugly. It was like hell. They were gyrating. They were the one I was talking about that I went to was like, I think the Hustlesbury Legal Club, and there was another one that it was awful. It was just disgusting, and it was I mean, I had a beer and I didn't even finish my beer. I left. I feel I'm not that proud of this. I told the guy like with the sandwich board over there, you know, it's not good when you go to a strip club and one of the strippers looks like your mother. I mean, I said that because I mean a lot of the strippers were in their like maybe their 20s or 30s, but they looked, the face, the body, they looked like they were in their 40s. She said, that's not right. And by that time I was pretty smashed. And when you're drunk, do not try to get a slice of pecan pie to settle your stomach, because I almost vomited then. And but that's the story. The weird thing was, at the same time, my mom over at the tavern in Economowoc was getting drunk as well. And I called her because my dad was asleep and I didn't want to wake him up. How to avoid a hangover. And the odd thing was, 1,000 miles away, both mother and son getting really blasted. And 2005 was also the year of Katrina. It was like in the fall, and all the area that I saw was flooded and was destroyed. And I mean, that was another incompetency. I mean, I kind of on the Bush part, attaboy, Brownie. People couldn't get the help they needed. I mean, looking at footage, it looked like Bangladesh. It did not look like America. And the most people who were affected were poor African Americans. I mean, if Katrina happened a year before, Kerry probably would have won the election. And so that was a really a tragedy of 2005. Another one was I got a job with a job placement. Basically, they'd pay, disability would pay like half my salary or something, and I would get started, learn, be trained, and then picked on. And it's STA, Student Travel of Australia, which is a youth travel organization. And I did really good. I believe. I mean, I was like booking trips. There was this one trip that was really almost impossible. You had like four Korean students here at the UW who wanted to go to San Francisco, like Los Angeles, San Francisco, Los Angeles, Vegas, Salt Lake City. And the problem was I couldn't find 4 tickets the same night for them all going there. So I reversed it and had 2 on one flight and 2 on a flight that left an hour later. And they were happy that they were able to do that. And I love customer service. I love doing that. The problem was it wasn't the most professional atmosphere. You had some of my colleagues Facebook messaging, playing games, online games, and when we had a board of trips to book. And I guess I maybe was more vocal than I should have been. And the day after open house that we had for the university, that I was one of the only ones who actually volunteered and helped out with that. Frank, the manager, sat me down and said it's not working out. This was also the last day that this work placement would pay my wages. So I feel they got a month out of me. And I mean, they flew me down to Arizona for training. And I got this you were too. It's not you. It's us. You're too professional for this environment. The environment just isn't working out. And I mean, I felt like it was more of a social thing. Like I wasn't good enough socially, and that hurt. It brought off all these pains from Edgewood. But the thing is, and I was in a depression that lasted from 2005 to 2008 about this. But the thing is, if I got that job, if that job continued, I wouldn't have been able to find what I believe God put me on this planet to do. So that pain and that emotional suffering was good because it led me to where I am now. God truly works in amazing ways. I'll continue this later with